Hello guys, welcome back. This is Luis. In this video I'm going to walk you through how to deploy software using group policy objects. So we've been discussing group policy for some time now, and today I'm going to show you how to deploy software using group policy. Now you would want to install softwares on a couple of computers and you don't want to move from computer to computer with your flash drive installing the softwares. Then group policy can allow you to install the softwares from a single location. Now to do this, you first need to create what we call a distribution point. You need to create what we call a distribution point. Now the distribution point is basically a shared folder. So you create a folder on the location where you want the software to be deployed from, and then you share the folder, granting authenticated user a minimum of modified permission. You share the folder, then you place the softwares that you want to deploy inside the distribution point. So I have here a Mozilla Firefox, and one thing you have to know is that to deploy software using group policy, you don't use the traditional executable files. Any software you wish to deploy with group policy needs to be an MSI files, Windows Installer Package. That is what it has to be, an MSI file. So whatever software you wish to deploy, you need to get the MSI version of that software, and then you can use group policy to deploy it. So after you have created a distribution point, which again is a shared folder on the network where the softwares are going to be deployed from, the next thing is you go to group policy management. So I'm going to go to tools and then group policy management to create a policy that will allow the users to install softwares. So I'm going to right click on the group policy objects, since that is where all policies are created from initially. So I right click it and then new, I'm going to call my policy software installation. So I click OK, and then the next step is to edit the policy. So I right click and then select edit. Now you can have software configuration under both computer configuration and then user configuration. You have software settings there. Now if you do it from the computer configuration, like we've understood from group policy, then the software will be installed on the computer, and then based on what user logs in, the software will be available. Or you can do it per user. If it's per user, then the software will be applied to the user, and it doesn't matter which computer they log on to, the software will be available to them. So we are going to do it on a user basis. So expand the software installations and then click here. And when you click software installation, you don't really see anything here. So you right click on the software installation settings and then you select package, new, and then package. Now you have to be very cautious here. You don't use the local path. As we saw with the picture wallpaper settings, you don't use the local path like C or the drive letter /. No, you use the network path. So /DC-1 /. So it even lists the shared folders on the server for me. So the one that I want to be using is the distribution point. Then I add another /, then it lists my software for me. So there it is. It is better this way, because if you use the local path, the policy will not work. So I click open, and then I have two options. To deploy software, you can either publish the software or you can assign the software. If the software is published, then what it means is that when the user logs on, the software is going to be available in the add or remove programs in control panel. And then if it is assigned, then the software will be installed on the system when the user logs on, and all that they have to do now is to just click on the software, and this time around they won't be prompted for administrator credential because the software has been assigned to them. They have the right to install the software, so the installation process will then complete when the user clicks on the software for the first time. So I'm going to click assigned and then select OK. So we'll have to wait a while because it might take a while for the package to appear in this window here. So we can see that the software has finally appeared here. It shows you the version of the software, the location. So you see the source, it is the network path and not the local path. Then we have the deployment deployment setting, state is what? Assigned. So if we are okay here, we can just close the group policy management editor. And then the next step is to link the policy. The next step is to link the policy. So to link the policy, all we do is we drag the policy. Now, depending on which users you want this to have access to this software. If you want say all the users in the domain to have access to the software, then you can link it to the domain. If you want particular users in a particular OU, then you can link the policy to the OU. So for this instance, I want the entire domain, so I just drag it to the domain. And then, do you want to link the GPO that you have selected to this domain? I say okay, so it has been linked. The next step is I have to update the group policy settings. So I have my command prompt, I type my GP update // I hit enter. So it's going to update the group policy settings, and immediately the updating starts. You notice that I have a shortcut for Mozilla on my system. Now when I click on this, automatically the installation process is going to begin. Let's go to the client side and then do the same thing there. So when I come to the client system, I have my client system here. I'm going to sign out and then sign back in. So I'm just going to sign back in. My password has expired, and so it must be changed. So let me quickly change my password. So okay, so it's going to log me in, and then when I go to the desktop, really our application is not showing. All right, let me quickly do this, a GP update on the client system. Okay, I think this user is a member of the HR, and we did block inheritance on the HR. So I think I have to go and then disable the block inheritance. I think he's a member of HR, and then we have block inheritance on HR. Yeah, I have block inheritance here. So I'll make the policy enforced instead. I'll make the policy enforced instead. So I'll just enforce the policy so it overrides the block inheritance. So I'll do another GP update, and then go back to the client, and let me do a GP update also here. And there is our Mozilla Firefox. So if you've been following the lessons and you try this and it doesn't come, it's probably because the user you logged in with is a member of the group that we the OU that we enable the enforced block inheritance on. So you have to either use enforced on the policy or disable the block inheritance. So basically this is how you did. So when the user clicks on this, the same process, it's not going to ask him for user credential or administrator credential. The installation is going to proceed, and then the software will be available whenever the user logs on. It doesn't matter which computer they log on to. Wherever they go, they are going to have access to the software. So this is how basically you deploy softwares. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through how to make sure that your users can use any computer at all, and then they can still have their files and folders following them. So we'll look at that in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Like the page, share the video, subscribe. Thank you for watching.